The Faraway Paladin, a manga influenced by Dark Souls. After the Age of Gods, a boy is born in the city of the dead. There's not a single living human to be found. Only a ghost and two forsaken souls are his company. He's searching the demon-infested ruins alone, praying for a benediction from the old gods. A truly broken, dilapidated world. No, I'm not reading the synopsis of Dark Souls. This is the world of the Faraway Paladin, a manga based on a light novel series of the same name. In case you don't know who I am MicMix, and I make anime lore videos. And today I want to present to you a truly unique fantasy series that combines two of my favorite franchises, Dark Souls and Japanese fantasy isekai. In this video, I will present to you the Faraway Paladin, talk about its Dark Souls influences, and dive into its fantastic and deep lore. We're going to talk about the deities, the covenants, and the atmosphere. Hell, there's even this undead caretaker character, Marie, that reminds me so much of the Firekeeper from Dark Souls 3. She's so precious. I hope she doesn't do anything stupid and try to rekindle the flame or something. What? Alright, so the first Dark Souls reference I found, right in the first chapter of the manga, is this talk about the Age of Gods, after the world was created. The deities of the Faraway Paladin are in no way perfect beings. They can be hateful, they fight among themselves, and their immortality is questionable. At some point in the manga, there's this peculiar line. His faith out there is dwindling. So that implies that if people cease to believe, even a god could die? Now, these deities resemble more ancient heroic, all-powerful spirits, legends, if you will. Just like Gwyn, Nito, the Witch of Izalith, Guinevere, you get the point. Then, the next obvious reference to the Dark Souls franchise were the covenants. In the world of the Faraway Paladin, a person can enter a covenant with any one of the 8 deities by swearing an oath to him or her. This creates a unique connection between the two parties, and the deity grants special spells, abilities, and benedictions to their servant. If you enter the Goddess Mater covenant, for example, you gain the ability to heal wounds, grow plants, and apply protective spells. However, if you join a covenant, you have to live by following certain rules. You can always break your oath and choose another covenant, but in some cases there are dire consequences in doing that. There are 8 lawful deities and at least 3 chaos deities to choose from. Okay, now that's all nice and good, but the real Dark Souls feel in the manga lies in its world and its atmosphere. As I was reading and watching the panels, it hit me. For the first 15 chapters of the story, there is not a single breathing human around. Apart from the protagonist, that is. Will, the boy born in the city of the dead, hasn't met a living human in 15 years. He wanders around in the ruined castles, escaping maze-like catacombs, and when he finally rests for a while, there is this utterly soul-crushing feeling of loneliness. And this otherworldly silence that the Dark Souls games have become so well known for. You feel something grand and perhaps horrible has happened in the halls of the city of the dead, and the story only provides you with small tidbits of information. What happened to the gods? Why is their power dwindling? What happened to all the humans and the dwarves that lived here? Why are there so many demons? Perhaps the answer lies within the hearts of the 3 remaining undead, Marie the Maiden, Blood the Warrior, and Gus the Sage. Much like Anor Londo, the City of the Dead has this weird, dilapidated, dying beauty, the beauty of a glorious past, a beauty which couldn't last forever. And finally, the Faraway Paladin reminds me so much of Dark Souls, thanks to its amazing and tragic characters. I'm sure you've watched Vidya's Prepare to Cry series about the tragic stories behind NPCs of the Soulsborne franchise. Solaire, the Firekeepers, Lautrec, and the list goes on and on. In this manga, there aren't that many tormented souls, merely 3, Marie, Blood, and Gus. But boy, do they have some tragic backstories. That is what makes us connect with a character, after all. Seeing his highs and his lows, his victories and his losses, his wise decisions and his horrible, horrible ones too. When I finished Marie's story, I have to admit, I cried for a bit. So, okay, you have been warned. This is a tearjerker, guys. A warning before you read the series. I never claimed that this manga is based on the Dark Souls universe. I only said that it was influenced by it. The Faraway Paladin is its own thing. It has some really dark and tragic moments, but it also has comedy, laughs, and even moments of joy, so don't get salty if it's not 100% Dark Souls. If you like dark fantasy or Dark Souls, and you do enjoy reading manga, I highly recommend that you read The Faraway Paladin. Did you like the video? Do you want me to do more lore videos on The Faraway Paladin? Or introduce you to more dark fantasy manga? Then smash that subscribe button so that you don't miss a thing. Before you click away, make sure to check out my other dark fantasy anime vids. I am MicMix and I make anime lore videos. I have an entire playlist about the lore of Goblin Slayer, its magic system, its characters, villains, everything. I also have a playlist about The Promised Neverland, an amazing mystery thriller anime. Thank you for watching, and see you around, fellow otaku adventurers.